What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Why We Love PlayStation VR. Sitting across from me this week and every week, the king of all VR kings, the sofa king himself, it's Jeremy King.
Hey, hello. I haven't changed my clothes in a week.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Neither have I.
Right? And sitting next to me
Every week.
this week and every week is Brian Paul.
And every week on Why We Love PlayStation VR, we dip into the PSVR archive. We pull out a game at random.
Yeah.
We talk about it extensively.
Right.
We see if it's been given love by the developers, any DLC, any
Dust
updates,
to
any
blow
patches.
Off. Blow the dust off.
We blow the dust off.
Blow the dust off.
We blow lines off of the disc.
Off of the disc.
And then we let you know, loyal game cats,
Wow.
it's worth your time. I like that we have that synchronized.
Right?
What game did we decide to play this week, Jeremy?
Déraciné.
Déraciné, developed by
Yeah.
From Software, released November 6, 2018 for $30.
Yep.
From Software, man.
Yeah.
That's a developer that we're all intimately familiar with.
Absolutely.
All the Souls games, Bloodborne.
Yeah.
This is obviously just like those games.
Very much. Lots of dodge and parries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
No, not at all.
No, what kind of game is Déraciné?
Like a little point-and-click adventure game?
Yeah, no, it's still a point-and-click adventure
Yeah.
game. But it doesn't have the feeling of like a LucasArts or Sierra
No.
old school game.
No.
Those were a lot more clear, I think.
Yes.
This always feels somewhat abstract.
Yeah.
Right.
Artsy. It's definitely artsy.
Yeah.
You know?
In fact, the whole vibe of the game is that you're at this boarding school with a bunch of British children.
Yeah.
Right?
Lovely.
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 Everything's so wonderful.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Right. And they're also prim and proper.
Very nice.
And for the first half hour, you're like, oh, I don't know. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I can hang out with these kids. They're goddamn fucking wholesome.
Yeah, and they're so nice to each other.
Right.
You know?
And they're apparently the only people at this boarding school. This
Yeah.
is the most empty boarding school I've ever seen in my life.
It's almost terrifying. It's
Right.
so empty.
There's like a headmaster, no teachers, and
None.
and like 6 kids,
I think there's 6, right?
something like that. I
Yeah.
lost track.
Soon there will only be the 6 kids.
Oh yeah,
That
that's
headmaster's
not take
on
long.
his way out.
Right.
1 foot out the door.
And so for like the first half hour, I was like, oh man, this is so prim and proper.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can get into this.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, things do get dark and
Yeah.
twisted, and they start dealing with death and time manipulation. And it's like things,
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. So maybe there's more to this than meets the eye.
Yeah.
And maybe there's more From Software infused into this than it initially seems.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's when things get good.
Yeah, it definitely gets good.
Yeah. So point and click adventure game.
Yep.
We talked about boarding school, but let's talk about, I think, the thing that's going to be very divisive.
Yeah.
And that's the locomotion system.
Yes.
How does that work?
Controls. So the controls on this, when you turn and look everywhere, there's like, certain points, like, what's that term?
Like nodes, teleportation nodes.
Yeah, that would pop up and you just hit your button and you're there.
Yeah.
And then but you can move it quick. So there's these nodes everywhere. So around certain objects, there'll be a circular node, which is a little obvious to know that you got to examine that object.
Yeah.
And when you're there, basically the square and the X will rotate you one way or the other way around this object. And when you're just freeform standing on a node, those will just turn you at certain angles in various directions.
Right.
And then when you're there, you got your hands, your fairy hands. We should probably explain that.
We're a fairy.
You're a fairy.
Right.
Yeah. So you're a fairy moving through the moments where time stands still.
Yeah. So the entire game is basically frozen in place.
Yeah.
So you start off and first of all, you look around and you're like, wow, this school is beautiful.
Yeah.
Right. It just looks. I mean, this is one of the
Graphically, it's very nice.
like one of the better looking games on
Yeah.
PlayStation VR.
Yep.
But very quickly you realize why that's the case.
Yeah.
Because nothing moves.
Nothing.
It's all frozen in space. So if there's something like shades or window curtains or whatever that are blowing because the window's open,
Yeah.
they're frozen like this.
Yeah.
And you do get to see those moving during
Very
certain
little.
points.
Yeah, and when moving is like they might do this until they say a sentence and it's froze again in time.
Right. Right. So there's water that's frozen, like it's all ripply, but it's so. The whole game sort of has this slideshow look and feel to it.
Yep.
And that doesn't help with the teleportation and the click turning
Yeah.
because it just feels like you're clicking through like a slideshow.
Yeah.
And I hate that at first.
Yeah.
And I kind of started to like it eventually.
Yeah.
I don't know if this game would work with full locomotion.
I don't either. I think it would put a lot more time into the game that's not necessary.
Right.
I think the visually it works. The way you're moving and skipping and jumping, it's almost like you're skipping and moving and jumping through moments in time. Yeah. You're not like freely just time's moving forward for you, but nothing else. So I like that picture book look to everything where it's frozen around. I think if you were going everywhere, looking everywhere, I think the nodes keep you on track.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, you can go to that door, you can go up those stairs, down that hall, or this way.
Right.
Anywhere else, just don't even bother. You know, I like the controls. I thought for this point and click type of adventure game, they worked very well. You know, and they were just so easy. Nothing was accidentally pressing a button to open up some inventory screen or whatever that you didn't need. Mm-hmm. You caught on to the controls really quick and easy.
Yeah.
You know?
And you do have an inventory because there's a lot of things that you need. I mean, it is still a point-and-click adventure, even if it's a weird one.
Yeah.
So you go around, you collect a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. And as far as the... so there's... The thing that got me about this was that this game can be really hard if you're not paying attention.
Yeah.
If you're paying attention and you're doing all the right things, this game's actually really easy.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you pick something up,
Yep.
open your inventory and look at it. Read it.
Yeah.
If there's a note, read it.
Yeah.
And like all the answers are just kind of given to you.
And I like how, like, so I don't want to give things away, but like the rat that was like dead.
Yeah.
You know, on like display, because obviously it was that kid with the glasses. It was his pet.
Right.
And you know, they say something about him choking. I don't want to give stuff away, but eventually, like chapters down the road, hours down the road in this game, you like, I know where that thing is. It's in the blankety blank rat's mouth.
Right.
I gave it away, but
no, whatever. But you're saying exactly what I'm saying.
Pay
if you're
attention,
paying attention, it all works.
Oh yeah,
it all makes sense.
Yeah, you know.
So we're a fairy.
Yes.
Right. And so as far as being a fairy, you know, you get this teleportation, whatever, and you're able to, you know, you're like, oh, look up in a tree, you know, I'm gonna go check out that tree.
Up in the tree.
So you know, so better than full locomotion in this sense because it allows for exploration a little bit easier.
Yep.
But you do have these powers as a fairy.
Yeah.
That are explained very early on. I think
Yeah.
in one of the first rooms that you're in, or the very first room.
Yeah.
And you're able to basically suck the life essence out of something that's alive.
Yep.
And that's like one power. And then you can transfer that into another.
Yeah.
I think you're basically, the first thing they do is you take the life from grapes. And then you revive a dead flower.
Yeah.
And that convinces the very first person, NPC you encounter.
Yep.
Convinces that person that fairies exist.
That's it. That's what I would think.
Oh, absolutely.
My grapes dried in my hand, and then my flower grew right there in front, like in a blink of an eye, actually.
And that's what you're doing for the first 20 minutes in this game is just convincing all the students that fairies exist.
Yep.
Like, what? And that's what got me when I at the beginning of the episode when I was talking about how I don't know if this game is for me.
Yeah.
Because it's so prim and proper and so wholesome.
Yeah.
I was like, are we just gonna be convincing people that we exist as a fairy
The whole time?
Who the
I know.
Fuck cares about
If it's
that?
this one, then that one, then this one. I'm like, I don't want to do this. Can I grab a piece of chalk and write "I exist" on the chalkboard?
Let's scare the fuck out of these. Right.
Oh,
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
And so, and because one of the first missions you are doing, as you sort of alluded to, is that you're collecting herbs to alter a soup recipe.
Yes.
Like, again, I'm like, this is the dumbest thing ever. I do not care about altering a soup recipe to convince children that fairies exist. I was like, what the fuck are we doing?
Right? We're adding 500 milligrams of THC to that soup. All these fuckers are going to be asleep in minutes. Yeah.
Right, or they're gonna really be convinced that fairies are all over the place.
Oh my god, they're gonna be so scared and paranoid.
Everywhere. Did you see it? They just wrote on the chalkboard.
I think the bigger kid will probably like be fine though. He'd laugh.
You think
what was his name? It began with a. It ended with a C.
Oh crap! No,
not Lewis. It was like something where it should be.
Yeah,
I can't think of his name.
See, I don't know. I had this last week the first time we filmed this episode.
Me too.
Right.
Your dustbuster looks like the kitten's poop thing.
Oh, you're way off, man. Wrong episode.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
Yep.
Déraciné.
So the whole thing has this really subdued.
Yeah.
Right. It's almost dreamlike, right?
Yeah.
Everything feels like it's sort of in a haze. I feel like the children. Mm-hmm. I feel like every single one of them is on painkillers.
Oh my god.
They're all on Valium.
They're so accepting of each other too.
Way too relaxed.
Yeah.
Everything's just way too chill and calm and dreamlike.
Yeah.
Right. So
oh no. You know the doors are locked. you know, and that's the attitude.
Yeah. And so and I don't know, like until things started to go wrong, until things started to get a little dark, I just wasn't into this at all.
Okay.
And then that mechanic that we just talked about, like almost never comes back into play. Like it's oh hey, you're a fairy and you have these abilities.
Yeah.
And then but really I thought it was gonna be something I was gonna be doing quite
Very
a bit
underutilized until towards the very end.
Right, but so again, like I mean, how many times do you even do it in the entire game?
Not very often.
Right.
And they don't really explain to you too often that like you can take you take the life essence from one thing, but to transfer it needs to be similar sized. They only say that towards the end, and I feel like they threw that in there because of what unfolds.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like I mean with that snake in the window. That's the one thing with the puzzle. It's like these puzzles, they, again, if you don't pay attention, you're stumped because immediately whenever it unfolded that situation, I'm like, oh, there's a snake in the window. I forgot I can take the essence out of things. So I went and grabbed the snake, took his essence, and I'm not going to say where I transferred it to, but, you know, you utilize that ability so little that I forgot at that point in the game that I could use that because that's what was needed to initiate the next chapter.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of what you're doing in this is sort of, I don't want to call it mindless.
Yeah.
But it's sort of like, hey, let's just make sure we explore every single corner.
Yeah.
And touch everything.
Yeah.
And something will inevitably happen.
Yeah.
Right. So one of this, I think what I was trying to do for the entire game, and this is sort of what it's all about, is again just trying to make things happen. But you're looking for these kind of like floating, sparklies.
These things that reveal. Some of them are obvious around these kids that are frozen in time.
Right.
There's this like could be one of these floaty, sparkly orbs in the center. You touch it. It unfolds a little bit of conversation they had.
Right. So this frozen world comes to life momentarily.
Yes.
They have a little conversation, a little dialogue. Sometimes they move, and so because of the way they moved, something got revealed.
Yeah.
And then so it's all about being observant.
Yes.
Right. So we already mentioned that. Like read everything.
You need to manipulate things too.
You need to manipulate things too. And so, you know, if these characters moved, then you got to be observant and see what got revealed. If there's an item around, pick it up, move it. There probably is a sparkly thing there that, again, will reveal something else.
Yes.
And so it's sort of this whole just pay attention and everything will be revealed kind of gameplay, which makes it a little bit different than any point-and-click adventure I've ever played.
Yeah, and they don't explain that either. And it's like
not.
Once you realize that, the game changes a lot because then you realize you can go back to these other people frozen, maybe take off one of the frozen kids' hats, and then there'll be something that a sparkle will pop out that initiates more story that reveals something else you needed, you know, or just more story and more flesh to the whole atmosphere.
Yeah.
And I started to get into it because of this. And then, like, I think I started enjoying this game earlier on than you probably did.
Probably.
I actually liked the story. It was whatever at first, you know, I didn't mind it. I wanted to see where it was going. It was just interesting enough for me to keep going. And then it started to get darker and more interesting, and you start realizing one of these kids didn't survive one night once before. Right. And you're like, what is this game about? And you start going, and then it gets even more fucked up, and then it's even like to the point of like, ugh, and then it peels back a bit, and then it's, you know, over.
2 move controllers.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe not necessary in this game. I feel like they totally could have pulled this off.
You could have
DualShock
actually.
4.
Yeah.
You know, use some head tracking with like a cursor or something, and just like click the X button.
Yeah.
Yeah, point and click, literally.
Yeah.
Right. I think it could have worked just fine that way, but the fact that it does have 2 move controllers makes a fairly unimmersive game a little bit more immersive. Because there's not a whole lot. Even though we said, oh, you know, you can like pick up the character's hat, or you can like do this or touch. There's not a lot of that.
It's not a ton, no.
Right? And so I feel like they could have pulled this off with a DualShock 4, but hey, you know what? For a game that uses click turning and teleportation and node-based movement, by all means, like use as much any way you can add immersion.
Yeah, why not?
The better.
Yep.
But what I loved even more than we talked about how great the graphics are in this.
Yeah.
What I loved even more than that was the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Right. All these like stringed instruments, cellos and violins and all this stuff. It's like very orchestrated.
It was perfect for the set piece they created.
Yeah.
You know, it worked. Added to the mystery. I'm still confused to that school up in that mountain. cliffs,
Right.
snow.
Right.
I mean, torrential area. I mean, it was crazy to build a school there, first of all.
Well, it's even crazier for parents to send their children there.
I think they're all orphans.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. I think none
It
of
has
them.
that feel about it, doesn't it?
Yeah. I think they live there. They're there till they die.
Maybe.
Yeah. And they seem like they do die.
I think they're all, I think, yeah, this is like Lost season 6.
The sideways version.
One of my favorite things about this was that there's, throughout the course of the game, there's 8 hidden coins.
Yes.
It doesn't sound like a lot.
No,
They are hard to find,
they are.
you know, and every time I found one, knowing that there's only 8,
Yeah.
I was like, I felt like I just made a ton of progress. Right?
Yeah.
Now I only have 7 more to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very rewarding, and the cool thing about it is it takes up inventory space.
Yeah.
But on the first floor of the school, there's a little room with a little piggy bank.
Yep.
And so you go over there and you put the coin in, and now suddenly it's not taking up inventory
Yeah,
space,
it's gone.
and it counts down 1 more. So now you
Yep.
have 7 more to find, and I like that quite a bit. It does. I think it does change up the ending if you find all of them. But again, the journey, not the destination. I just love collectathons.
Did you find all 8?
I think I'm still only at 7.
Yeah.
I found 7 out of the 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so pissed. I still want to go back and like start it over. Just chapter 1, get them all. Because you can find them all, like, almost think in the first area of the game. I almost think you can get most of them there. Was there... No. Because there's one that's on an outside area. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't think you can get there right in the very first chapter.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I don't know. I mean, the fact is, between the two of us, we're still missing 3 coins total. So,
Yeah.
so I don't want to say where they might be because, I mean, they could certainly be in the later part of the game when things open up.
Yep.
You're no longer hanging out at that initial boarding school.
No.
So yeah. Trying to think here. I want to make sure we don't miss anything. There was a pretty decent price drop June of this year.
Okay.
I went from $30, which was a fair price, I think already. Now it's a $20 game.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to beat this?
It was roughly 5 hours. We'll round up. It was a teeny bit under that.
Yeah.
But we'll just say 5 hours.
I want to say 5 hours sounds about right for me
Yeah.
too. I haven't gone back and looked at my initial review.
Yeah.
But 5 hours sounds about right to me.
Yeah.
When I was playing through this time for this review,
Yeah.
everything sort of made more sense.
Okay.
And I don't know if that's because I wasn't playing it for review and I just kind of casually taking my time.
Yeah.
And I'd already played the game, so I knew what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
But everything made more sense.
Yeah.
You know, anytime I saw a clue that directed me toward an item I needed or something like that.
Yeah.
Or if it was just, there were less spaces where I was just wandering around aimlessly.
Okay.
Because it's really easy to wander around aimlessly in this.
Oh, yeah.
Looking for anything and anything at all
Yeah.
that'll advance the story forward. And so because of that, I think the first time I played this, it felt like way more of a slow-paced game.
Okay.
I mean, it's a point-and-click adventure. They're all slow-paced.
They all, yeah.
Right, but this time around, it felt way less like that.
Okay.
And far in this, and I knew the story was going to get good, and so I was more invested from the beginning.
Anticipating that moment where it starts cranking up speed.
Right, I didn't have to worry. Is this game for me? Because
Yeah.
I already knew that it was.
Yeah.
Um,
I felt, though, that even though it was 5 hours, like when you send a message, hey, we're going to do this game, it should take you about 5 hours. I'm like, oh, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's what I initially thought with this game. But then in hindsight, when I was playing it, and in hindsight, it was a quick 5 hours. It didn't feel like 5 hours. Like if you have to go to a lecture and sit there.
Also, for anyone wanting us to play Borderlands 2 for this show,
Oh.
please pay attention and note that Jeremy just said that 5 hours seemed like a long time to play for an episode. So, yeah. So Borderlands 2 next week.
Yeah, we're ready to go.
Right.
Good thing I played mostly all of that in flat screen when it first came out, way
sweet.
years back.
Then maybe we will do that sooner rather than later. Because I've been wanting to do an episode. I was trying to get Des to do one, but
I would do Borderlands.
Nice. Well, it's on the list then.
All right.
Hey, we just made at least 2 people very happy.
Yeah.
I think we need to rate this.
Rate it up.
Rate it up. Jeremy, what's our rating scale?
1 is to speed race to your PlayStation controller and hit purchase in the store screen, or buy this. This has a physical copy.
Go to eBay, buy it now.
Buy now.
Yeah.
2 is, slow your horses. Don't run. Walk there. Wait for a sale. Maybe by the time you get there, it'll be reduced price or a used copy.
Yeah.
And then 3, just don't even run or walk. Just plant your feet there and buy something else because you don't want it. It's terrible. Now, that being said, what do you rate this?
So for people who pay attention to the channel,
Yeah.
the funny thing is that some of them know that we've recorded this episode before, and that video footage got lost.
It's gone in space.
And we were just like, oh crap, we have to redo this episode.
Yeah.
Most of you don't know that, so I just kind of broke the fourth wall for some people.
Yeah.
This conversation, by the way, this was a much better version of that episode.
Oh yeah.
So you didn't miss anything.
I'm glad it got lost.
So happy that we destroyed that.
The
episode.
litter box got lost though.
That is the unfortunate side.
Yeah,
of
that
things.
was an unfortunate one.
That's okay. We'll do a better one tonight.
Yes.
But here's a part about this whole situation that I'm really happy about.
What's that?
It gave me more time to play Déraciné over the last week since we lost the footage.
Okay.
And I get closer and closer to that part of the game that just like really roped me in.
Yeah.
And last week I gave this a 2 when we filmed this the first time.
Yeah.
Because it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm going to stick by that and say this game is not for everybody.
Sure.
But if you're like me, and you like point and click adventures and you don't mind a little bit of a slower paced game and you're going to be patient and wait for the story to unfold and get better, I think I need to change my rating and give this a 1.
Wow.
Especially with the reduced price.
Okay.
If this was still $30, I'd be like, okay, it's a strong 2.
Oh yeah.
But for $20, this is like a game I've never played before.
Yeah.
Even though I've played point and click adventures before, this
Yeah.
is like one I've never played, and I love what From Software did. This was obviously a passion project for them. They didn't just go, hey, we're gonna make Bloodborne or Dark Souls and port it into VR.
Yeah.
This was something that I feel like came from the heart.
Yeah, ground up.
And I think they did an admirable job, and they made something exclusive for PlayStation VR, and it's for me it's an essential game, if you're into this style of game.
Sure.
So I'm changing. I'm giving it a 1.
Wow.
What about you?
Nice. So it's like I don't know if I don't know. I'm not changing mine, but I am saying
I don't even remember what you gave it last week.
I almost don't either. It wasn't a 3. That I know.
Okay.
That
it wasn't a 3.
That, as you're saying that, and sitting in it, it's been a bit of time since we recorded this once before.
Yeah.
So $30, would I say run out and buy it, or would I personally? Yeah, I don't know. 20 though is getting there, where I love point and click adventure games. I loved them on the PC. I never played them on a fucking console. But in VR, they're a whole different beast, and it adds a whole level to this point-and-click type of game. It just revitalizes it for me and just rejuvenates, gives it a facelift. And so I loved the sound in this.
Yeah.
Graphically, it was great. I liked how eerie it felt and how you did feel like something that wasn't of the earth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You felt like the character you were portraying, fairy or not, whatever. You were playing some mystical creature.
Kind of like voyeurish. Like,
yeah.
Right? It's like, you're not supposed to be here.
Yeah.
But you are, and you're spying on people a lot.
Yeah. As they're frozen, helpless, can't do anything. But no. And I liked how the mechanics worked, where you examined and manipulated things. And the voice acting, even though we say it's like they're on Prozac?
What's Valium.
Valium.
Yeah, very.
Like Prince Valium. Remember Prince Valium?
Yes.
When I was a kid, that Spaceballs went right over my head.
So many things.
Yawned a lot. So that doesn't mean the voice acting's bad. The voice acting's good.
Yeah.
It's decent. And the story, I really liked the story. I liked how you read things or initiated things to get the whole story of it all. And I just thought it was paced well. And I thought that it peaked right at the right time. And then it concluded, I thought, very well,
Yeah.
So I guess in looking back, where it's like, I mean, if I watched the play, I would go and I would buy this game. This wouldn't have to be one-handed to me, which, I mean, it was. But, I mean, I wouldn't. I borrowed this one, actually.
Here, I want it back.
Yeah. So definitely a 2. But I almost want to say a 1 because of how much I did enjoy it. I did think about it a lot after finishing it. And, I mean, that doesn't really happen with too many point-and-click adventure games or games in general, unless it was just that impactful.
Yeah.
And there's something about all of this that came together that hit the right chords for me. And
So a strong 2?
I would say a very strong 2.
Nice.
Yeah. Almost getting towards a 1. If this was $15, no doubt about it.
So it comes down to price for you, not the style of game.
Yes.
Because for me, I feel like the price was almost right at 30.
Yeah.
Right. So 20 is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And it's just, for me, it comes down to the type of person you are.
Yeah.
This is the kind of game you want to be playing.
Yeah. Well, with the kids and the budgets and the time, and I've got to weigh all sorts of factors in. You know, and so like money comes into it for me. I mean, because if this was a $50 game,
Oh, absolutely.
I'd
not.
bow out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I'd be like, that's a shame. This game would be a 1 if it was $15. It's a 2 at 20.
I think a lot of games would be a 1 at $15.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jumanji.
Fuck Arizona Sunshine. That game's been $40 since launch, dude.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
All right. So,
Hey.
so I gave it a 1.
I gave it a 2.
Nice.
Very solid 2.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so glad we got to re-record this episode and bring it to you guys. What other games do you want us to play? I think Borderlands 2 is going to be the...
Yeah.
Like, now we've done it.
Skyrim, Borderlands.
Right.
You know, these juggernauts.
I'll just link back to the 2 different episodes that Des and I already did of Skyrim.
You're doing it.
Why do I always do this?
I don't know. It's subconscious with you.
It's unconscious.
It's like maybe
I'm totally unconscious all the time.
it's a calming thing for you.
Right. What did you think of Déraciné? Is it a 1 for you? Is it a 2 for you? Do you hate it? Are you a point-and-click adventure fan? Do you want more of this? Do you want less of this? Are you still mad they didn't make a Souls game?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are mad they didn't make a Souls game.
I know, because they thought, fun software, boom. No, what is this?
How could it not be Bloodborne VR?
Yeah.
Also, how could it not be Bloodborne VR? I mean, we really need that.
That'd be crazy.
Be crazy. I can't wait. One of these days, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So that does it for another episode of Why We Love PlayStation VR.
Yep.
My name is Brian Paul.
And I'm Jeremy King.
And we'll see you
Next week.